You're not a professional. Let's get something straight. Listen to me.
Who's not a professional?
You're not a professional.
I'm a professional driver for the city of New York. I had to take an examination, and I had to pay.
You are a...
Many thousands of you have seen this scene of a New York union negotiation. DC 37, the AFL-CIO, municipal employees, representing 150,000 people. These are the people that take care of the bridges and the subways. I'm David Hoffman, filmmaker, and I filmed that scene back in 1965. It's a moment in time. It's a union negotiation. It shocks a lot of people because of the roughness of the way New Yorkers talk, but you know, they got things done. Now let's think about that time and the union, and specifically this union. So this is a time of collective bargaining. Bargaining between the workers and between the employers. And collective bargaining meant there was fair negotiation, and many of the people who were in that union had no idea how to do that. I mean, the bosses came in with top New York lawyers, suits and ties. How could the union guys and girls actually negotiate a fair agreement? So the union taught people how to do collective bargaining. And you're about to see another scene from that film where that's what they're doing. They're teaching collective bargaining. The teacher says, I'd like 3 people to come up. One of them is a woman who's had to take time off that she wasn't given because her kid is sick. Another one is the union representative trying to defend that woman. And the third is a representative of the employer saying, hey, you can't just take time off. Watch this scene from the training point of view, for that these people are trying to learn how to deal with a situation in which there probably are 2 rights. Right, you had to take time off because your kid is sick. Right, because you can't just take time off, the employer says. You gotta come to work when you're being paid to work. I don't know if this kind of training is still going on, but I'm proud of this scene and of the moment in time, the 1960s, when I took it.
Now, can we get at least 2 persons who will play one who will play the role of the supervisor? Would you play the role of the supervisor? Who will play the role of the steward? I will. All right, you will play the role of the steward. Who will play the role of the employee? Okay, would you all 3 come up here now and take chairs? Take a chair here. I want you to do this as if you were doing this in the hospital itself. I would assume that we open up, the steward comes in, you say hello, and you pick it up from there.
John.
How are you, Mrs. Massey? Yes. Well, the problem here is that Mrs. Roma has been absent from her job Thursday and Friday of last week and Monday of this week. Now, I have a job to do, and I have reprimanded her and told her that she cannot take any more time off, and I will take 2 days away from her for being out. We have patients here, which is my first concern, and although I know she has the problem with her child, patients do come first in the hospital.
Well, now, Ms. Jones, the first thing I'd like to say is that I understand your sympathy in saying that the patient do come first, but in this woman's case, you can't say that the patient would come first to her because her child has to come first to her. Now,
might I just interject in one moment, please? I
Yes,
want to
please.
ask you something, Mrs. Jones. Did you not know that that child was sick from Monday on, and I had a babysitter for those first 3 days, but on Thursday, Friday, and Monday, the sitter couldn't come. I did try coming in. I worked Monday through Wednesday, did I not? You knew the child was sick.
Well, may I say something, Mrs. Roma? I have your record here, and it's very bad. Now,
unfortunately, the child is a sick child. I don't say
yeah.
that because I don't want to, and you know when I work, I do a
still
good
have
job.
a hospital here, and we have patients here, and I'm sorry, you will have to make other arrangements.
I have tried.
I called up the doctor, Dr. Schneider, and I spoke to him myself. And he was very kind to say that he would give me a letter stating that she does have a child that is very ill, and that this child has to have her own attention. She cannot have babysitters to take care of the sick child. And
Well, I will have to write her up. I will have to write her up and send her some, because we cannot have a person staying out 2 and 3 times a week whether she has a child or not.
Well, if you do that, but I will definitely fight that because I think it is unfair and unjust.
But until you
I don't know if you know what justice is.
Until
but
you do that, Mrs. Massey,
well, I'm going to do it immediately.
I will have to write her up and send it upstairs.
I am going to do it.
I have divorce on my back.
I don't care who you have on your back.
Position.
You're going to have me on your back, and when you have me on your back, you got somebody on your back.
That was a lovely situation, wasn't it? Now, may this be typical? Okay.
I would not have let that supervisor draw me out into a fight because that was not the arena to fight in. I would simply have advised that supervisor that where she has a twofold obligation, an obligation to her employer as well as to that employee.
Today I see you the pacifist. We had a steward who stood her ground, who spoke as an equal with the supervisor. She wasn't intimidated by the tone of the supervisor. She referred to the contract when necessary. She decided to avail herself of the second step of the grievance procedure when she found that she did not get a solution or a proper answer. And it was a wonderful illustration of what the steward is supposed to be like, and I hope she will serve as a model to all of you in the work you will be doing from now on. And thank you for the excellent work and participation and your time that you've given all this week.